Oh my god, that is good. So technically, we've used all that richness from the pork to go back into the pork again. So, yeah, full of deliciousness, really is. So how long have you been wanting to be a chef? Well, I am a chef. I've been a chef for 13 years. It is my professional career. I've worked for a lot of high-end establishments. I've worked in 2 rosettes from Michelin star. I've even cooked for like different celebrities and footballers. And, you know, I've worked for like Gordon Ramsay. I've cooked for Johnny Depp. I've done some cool things. I've enjoyed my career so far, but it's not going to stop there, and I'm going off in my own direction now, doing my own thing. So, no, I've really enjoyed it. It's been fantastic. So, yeah, so it's been about 13 years, coming on 14 years. I've been a professional chef. So, yeah, no, I've really enjoyed it. Well, I know... I mean, as in, sorry. Like, what age did you decide to... Oh, right, okay, sorry. It was about... I guess I've always been cooking, even since when I was small, with my mum. So, I guess from the age of 5, really. I guess I've always been into cooking, even when I was younger, doing bakery and cooking and stuff. So, yeah, I've always kind of always have been with cooking, to be honest with you. It's always been so enjoyable. I've loved it. But we've always been a foodie kind of orientated family, so we always do food from scratch. We always do, you know, we always just make food. We love food. And we always see it as like a family thing. Do you know what I mean? We enjoy having food with the family. So yeah, it's something that we really enjoy. So, oh my god, dem ribs with that sauce, really. That is delicious. That sauce I can't stop eating. It's really good. Very tasty indeed. Sorry, I just woke up. That's okay, my friend. My wording's poor. Don't worry, I have my days where I'm typing. Or even if I'm on stream. I can't talk to... Even today at some point, I usually lose my words. But, oh my god. Oh, that is such amazing. It's not what a barbecue sauce you'd expect, but... it's a great alternative. I really like it. It's not quite as sweet as what you usually have, but that's the whole point of reducing it. And it's an alternative sauce to have, and it is damn good on ribs. I'm not going to lie to you guys, so it is really nice. Dem ribs. Has a lot of orange goop in your ribs. Certainly is. It's from the tomatoes itself. It's not the camera. It is actually quite an orangey colour. As I said, it's not like going to be a barbecue sauce that you've ever seen or you'd kind of alliterate with. It's very alternative, so it's going to be very reduced in sugar levels, but it's got that kind of flow of like a barbecue sauce that you would have. So, and it's got the smokiness and the spiciness going on in there as well. So, you know, it's an alternative. Now I need breakfast. Oh, dumplings are somewhat of a guilty pleasure of me. I'm not careful. I have to down 30 before I know it. It looks spicy. Yeah, it's got a bit of a spice, bit of a kick to it. If you don't want as much spice, you can leave the chilies out or the cayenne pepper, whichever you prefer. Twitch chat. Thank you so much for that follow. Hope you're doing well. Appreciate it. What did you put in the sauce? So basically, we put in paprika. I use smoked paprika for the smokiness. I also put some cumin, some celery salt. I also put in a little smidge of cayenne pepper, some powdered mustard, or you can use Dijon. I think I used Dijon for this one, didn't I? Yeah, I used Dijon, sorry, and a little bit of powdered mustard. Black pepper. I also put a very small amount of Cholula sauce in there. Oh, I'll tell you what I did want to add to it, which I was quite curious. I wanted to mix in. I wanted to see what it was going to flavour with a little bit of chipotle, actually, mixed in. I just wanted to try some with a little bit of chipotle to see which direction it kind of goes with a little bit. Yes. Why not? Because that will add another smoky flavour. So we're going to pop that on top as well. So yeah, we put a can of tomatoes in there as well. We also put in ourselves some garlic, rosemary, thyme. We also did a rib rub for it as well with very similar flavours as well, and we cooked that down. So, and then we reduced the liquor from the pork. We reduced it until it was nice and sticky and rich for like the saltiness to it. So we didn't add any seasoning to it. Poured that in. Yeah, no, fantastic. So we mixed that up. Darth Molan, how's it going, my friend? How are you? Love me some Cholula. Oh yeah, it's very delicious indeed. Glow Chef. Hi Chef. Hey Glow Chef. Welcome back. How are you doing, my friend? Hope you are doing well. It's fantastic to see you. Hope you're having a fantastic Sunday. So very basically, you'll boil the food before roasting. So how do you mean boil the food before roasting? You mean for the ribs? I braised them down in the spices for 2.5 hours. But or do you mean the new potatoes? Is that what you were on about, Colonel? Cholula is, it certainly is. Chef, that doesn't sound so different from some of the barbecue I've had. Sounds delicious. Yeah, I mean, well, my initial thought, when you try it, it's not sweet, because obviously I'm reducing sugar levels. And a lot of barbecue sauces that you do have, or that are around, they are quite sweet, and they got quite a high kind of sugar content. So, initially, when I try it, it's not like a... You got the smokiness, you got that... It's pretty much there. It's just without the sweetness, it's a totally different ball game. So we have got some honey in there. Not much though. We have put a bit of sweetness just to contrast and balance it out. We popped vinegar in there as well. So, I mean, yeah, it's pretty much similar, but don't expect it to be overly sweet. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of the same with majority of the foods that we do. You expect it to be quite sweet with like certain cakes that I make, and they're not as sweet. It's a quite nice balance, so it's not sickly, so you can eat more of it, so it's not that bad. Oh, both the potatoes and ribs. Yeah, so basically I just braised off the ribs to kind of break down the sinews and the flavours, and just kind of, not the flavours, the meat itself, so it's all nice and ready to go. So it was just basically near enough falling off the bone. With the potatoes, yeah, I pre-cooked them so they're not be nice and soft. If you cook them from raw, they might burn on the outside and they still might be hard and raw in the middle. So if you pre-blanch them in the water and then marinate them in loads of flavours, get them in the oven roasting, they're already pre-soft, so they won't take much more to soften up, but you just want to get that initial colour on there. So that's the reason why we do kind of both, separate reasons why. Awesome, man, thanks for the resource. Oh yeah, sorry, I think you were talking to Wolfie, I guess. Hey chef, every time I try to make ribs, they never done in the middle. So how are you cooking your ribs, Hawkeye? What I did with mine, as I said, I made a rib rub with them with the spices, paprika, cumin, celery, salt, mustard, cayenne pepper, even popped a little bit of Cholula in there. What else do we have in there? Chili, garlic, rosemary, thyme. Do you know what I mean? We had a nice little rib rub. We put it into a casserole dish, covered with water, covered with foil, in the oven, and we cooked it down for about 2.5 hours, 2 hours 40 minutes on 160 Celsius, 312 Fahrenheit, until they're basically falling off the bone. It does take time. You can't be like impatient with it. You've got to give it time. You've got to give it time to kind of break down the sinews, break down the meat, so it has time to fall apart. So, you know, you've got to give it that time. Barbecue sauces here range from sweet to hot sauce. Some people sometimes hate sweet sauces and want it spicy and rich. All kinds are available. I do like sweet. Yeah, I guess it's having a bit of variety, and you know, having a alternative, less sugar one for me, obviously, is important to go with my foods to complement the dish. So, yeah, there's nothing wrong with having them as a treat day for the sweeter ones with the higher sugar contents. Do you know what I mean? I have them like once in a blue moon. I don't really have them that often, but they are very nice to have indeed. I like savoury over sweet for sure. Sweet's not too bad though. Yeah, exactly. Everyone's different. That's the great thing. We all have a great range of diversity. Some of us prefer savoury. Some of us go sweet. I personally got a very sweet tooth, but since I started eating like this, it's actually helped a hell of a lot. So I'm not too bad now. How long will you braise the large chunk of medium quality beef before you give it a roast? Oh, so like. Depends on what kind of cut are you going to be using, Colonel. I mean, you mean like for like, I'm trying trying to think of the right cut now. So say, for example, you're going to make yourself some decent corned beef. I guess you can brine it, I guess, and then you kind of braise it down and then roast it off. It all depends on the weight. It really does, and what kind of cut you're using. But it does take a good few hours, you know, just to get all those flavours in and the size of it. About 350 for usually 45 minutes to an hour. I try to leave them in longer, but they start to burn. See, that's where if you put it down a notch and put it to 312 Fahrenheit or 160 Celsius, and you have them in the flavours and the colour and in braising in some liquor, and we've got all the spices, the garlic, you know, all those flavours that you got going on in there. Maybe you don't want spices in there. Maybe you want to keep it simple. You can just chuck in some garlic, some thyme, some rosemary, cover it with water, boil it over in a braising dish, put it in the oven, and give it that 2.5 hours time on 160. It's a lower temperature, and they won't burn because they're subsided in water. They're not going to burn, and because they're foiled over, they will stay nice and moist. And then, if you want to get some nice colour on it afterwards, make your sauce. Get them like I have done now, and then we'll pop them in the oven, and they'll colour off absolutely beautifully. So those options are there, my friends. So that's how I do mine. I mean, you might be different to do it slightly differently, as you said, but give this way a try. See what you might find it a lot better, a lot easier. I live in the south. Barbecue art form. Barbecue sauce is a secret sauce. There are fist fights over barbecue. Yeah, definitely, for sure. There's lots of different recipes, and I suppose there's definitely no right or wrong way of doing it. It's however you want it. If you want it sweeter, if you want it more savoury, more smoky, less smoky. Do you know what I mean? There is a lot of different recipes for sure. Yes, trying to discover someone's secretly sauce will get you punched. Wow, they're very dedicated about their barbecue sauces then, for sure. Few hours, agree. That will do as an answer for me. Okay, Colonel, as long as I got your answered your question, I'm happy with that. My uncle has his own recipe that he will me when he dies. It's that serious. He won't even give it to his kids. Oh wow, really? Oh, there are some secret heavy sauces out there for sure, guys. Slow cooking anything makes it so good. Oh, it certainly does. I just love those breaking down those meats and making them nice and gelatinous and tender and moist, and they're just falling apart off the bone. Oh, it's making me hungry. Let's get these ribs in, shall we? So yeah, cooking conspiracy. Yeah, chef. Never insult someone's barbecue. Oh yeah, no, definitely not. I don't insult anyone anyway, regardless. I hope I don't. Anyway, that's what I hope I don't do. Regardless if it's barbecue. Right, so. Oh, those tater tots smell good. Right. Let's move that tray. It's going in. The chipotle, smoky, barbecue-y ribbage. Let me get some colour on them bad boys. So that's gone in. But I only bought this like chipotle one the other week, and it's got some serious nice spice to it, and I love it. And I've had a look at the values on it, and it really isn't so bad at all. It's very low values. I can't believe it. Even the other one's even lower. I mean, this one's like got nothing in it. I don't know how they can do it, but obviously if you had like probably a litre of the stuff, you probably will have like certain amount of fat or grams or whatever, but in small quantities, there's barely anything in there. It's very much nil. Great. Now I'm starving. Thanks, chef. You're most welcome, my friend. Right, okay. So, but yeah, no, I'm very happy overall. I'm definitely going to put a little bit of cheeky chipotle in here because that went really well with it. I'm going to have a little try again. I'll put some over the top of the barbecue on the